Luke ended his 5 days in Barcelona with 4 dates in 3 days.
I think I went on 4 separate dates in them 3 days. And I had the opportunity to go on one more, but I just couldn't fit it in the night. So, yeah, I mean, before my immersion and going to Barcelona, I would have just had no idea it was possible. But now coming out of it, my whole perception on travelling and what the world has to offer has completely and utterly it's just blown my whole perception out the water, and I'm just never going to think the same again.
My ultimate goal for why I started was to become more competent in high pressure situations. I want to go on and learn to sell, I want to learn to market, and these are very transferable skills into that side of life. You also got to remember that picking up a few ladies here and there doesn't hurt. But one thing I will say is I am just like you all. There's nothing and there is no separation between where I am now and where you are now. Everyone's capable of doing it. So yeah, just for a brief bit of backstory, 10 days ago I've done my immersion and it went brilliantly. I left feeling and thinking differently, which has pushed me into coming to Barcelona and spending my money, coming out and making the most of the opportunity that's been presented to me. At a certain point, you've got to understand that having people around you to help you realise that situations like that are possible to take on. You know, I had no idea and no sort of understanding of how to approach that situation before my immersion. But look, I feel like a new person, to be honest, and really I am a different person because that person before the immersion wouldn't have done that, you know.
So you might be wondering, all right, what results did Luke actually get? Yeah, you can see him out there in the field 10 days in. I think that is important to remember as well. The guy has only been doing this for 10 days. Yeah, 10 days ago, he couldn't approach. He had the same self-limiting beliefs that you might be faced with right now. He didn't feel as though he was worthy. He didn't feel as though he was good enough to receive love from the feminine. He felt as though Cole's approach was wrong in some way. Yeah, living his life like a closet heterosexual, scared of being a man and having desire and finding women attractive. Like, he was exactly where you are right now. Not only was Luke going on dates straight after his 3-day immersion with me in London, but Luke ended his 5 days in Barcelona with 4 dates in 3 days.
I think I went on 4 separate dates in them 3 days. And I had the opportunity to go on one more, but I just couldn't fit it in the night. So, yeah, I mean, before my immersion and going to Barcelona, I would have just had no idea it was possible. But now coming out of it, my whole perception on travelling and what the world has to offer has completely and utterly it's just blown my whole perception out the water, and I'm just never going to think the same again.
This is a guy who's only 10 days in. This is a guy who's only 21 years old. This is a guy who 10 days ago couldn't do any of these things, didn't even think it was possible. It wasn't even in his reality. But inside the Entourage, we give our guys a playbook, we hold them accountable for their actions, we introduce them to a ready-made network of like-minded guys. And at this point, it is actually impossible for our Entourage guys not to succeed. If you are prepared to put in the reps, if you are prepared to abandon the excuses, and if you are prepared to undergo a complete radical transformation. Like, I'm not talking about some half-assed attempts, right? I'm talking about a complete overhaul of your current character, not to do your best, but to do what is necessary. If you are prepared to go all in with this, I'm not just talking about cold approach, right? This goes way deeper than day game. Yeah, this is a 2 middle finger salute to a society that wants to keep you shackled. Every time you go out there and you don't approach that woman, you are basically saying to society, I'm happy to be a programmable pawn. Yeah, society has fed you a steady diet of bullshit. Be a good boy, work your 9 to 5, ask for permission when you're allowed to go for a shit, live your life like a closet heterosexual. Oh, you're a man, don't have desire, don't find women attractive, don't delight in the radiant nature of the feminine. No, don't do that. Play it safe, stay comfortable. And this is how the majority of men live their lives. The majority of men live their lives in quiet desperation, sleepwalking their way through life and waking up when their best years are behind them. So if you refuse to settle, if you reject the matrix of mediocrity, if you know in yourself that you were destined for more than swiping on a screen, settling for low quality women in grotty nightclubs, trying to strategically get women through your social circle, if you are ready to level up, to live an international lifestyle, be surrounded by absolute social savages, and ultimately get to a point in your life where you actually like yourself, then this is what we're doing. Yeah, this is what we're doing inside the Entourage. We're not some weird pickup community or some, I don't know, like old school, like fucking peacocking around the nightclubs. We're a group of social savages. We are pirates, mavericks, renegades, the guys who refuse to settle, the guys who want it all. If you are that type of person, then apply to join us.